hood to hood, I see, nigga. Don't be dumb, go smoke boys, nigga. Jack like, bitch.
Organization want their respect, Laker Nation want their respect, and I want my damn respect too.
James, they can go right through the legs. And knocking it away for a moment. And Davon Reed says, bring it on, King. Bring it on. Crowd going nutty. LeBron falls down.
Finally, we get to respect. We get to respect. Wait.
They're going to say 24 seconds. LeBron falls down.
Welcome to M.L.E. My Life Entertainment. It's your boy Dave President Reese. This is episode 1 of the podcast. This is the first episode of the Knee Off podcast. No emotions, only facts. And today, I got a special guest for y'all. Two fraud for TV sports. Gonna sit down, do an interview with me, and it's gonna be a good one. Yeah, man, this is Two Fraud for TV Sports.
So, last Saturday, I believe that LeBron was listed as questionable with that fake-ass knee injury back then. So I strongly...
Whoa. Hold on, fraud, man. I gotta stop you right there. Are you saying that LeBron is faking his injury and he's not injured?
Because we all know that knee injury or knee issue is fake.
But help me make sense of this, man. Like, you're saying he's faking the injury. Like, what can he gain from faking an injury? Why would he fake the injury? Like, is he the only player that's not allowed to get injured? Because I hear this not only from haters like you, but other haters everywhere else. Like, they say the same thing. Whenever LeBron's injured, they say he's not injured. He's fake. He's had very few injuries throughout his career. And once he does end up getting injured, which he done seen the most injuries in his career lately because he's older, y'all say he's not injured and he's just faking. I don't understand. Can you explain?
And, it's just bullshit. So I suspect he's going to play, and especially considering the fact that even if the Lakers lose badly tonight, LeBron, being about his stats, is set to set a record. Now, it's a record with an asterisk.
Well, it's a record with an asterisk. I never heard this before. I didn't know people can get an asterisk next to a record. You talking about the all-time points combined with the playoffs and regular season? It's going to be an asterisk next to it because why? I don't understand. Because LeBron's going to have a record. Why is it an asterisk next to it? A record is a record. It's a milestone. It's an accomplishment. Why does it have an asterisk next to it? I don't understand this one either. Because I'm sure if Kobe or MJ had this record or gained this record and people watched it live and gave them their props and respect for getting it, would it also have an asterisk for any of those players, or it's just LeBron?
But it's still a record in the eyes of LeBron fans and the sycophants in the media. It's enough. It doesn't matter. What am I talking about? Well, while LeBron still has a ways to go to surpass Kareem when it comes to regular season points, he only needs 19 points to surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the all-time NBA leading scorer when you combine regular season and playoffs.
Mr. Fraud, you seem kind of upset about that like it's bothering you in some type of way that he's about to get a record. I don't understand. Like, it's NBA basketball. Like, people set records, break records, and it's all-time points combined. And Kareem was leading that also over many other players. So I don't understand. Was it an asterisk already next to it with Kareem, or just something that you're trying to create and spin a narrative and downplay one man's greatness to pick up another? Can you explain? This hate is obvious that you're hating, and we want to know why. So please tell us why you're mad.
Right now, LeBron is second. Kareem, in his 20-year career, scored 44,149 total points. 38,387 of those points come in the regular season, and 5,762 of those points coming in the playoffs. Now, to Kareem's defense, a lot of his career, there were fewer rounds in the playoffs, and in the first round for his career, it was either a best of 2 or best of 5, and now, of course, it's a best of 7. But it is what it is.
I think I get what you're saying. I think I get what you're saying. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying in Kareem's defense, the way the style was in the playoffs, it was the best out of 3, and because LeBron is now about to break the record, it's an excuse because they changed the format and it's the best out of 7, and I guess it's LeBron's fault that they changed the format, which was changed a while ago. This baffles me, but it's LeBron's fault that they changed the format, and now he's breaking a record due to that. I'm sure LeBron's not the commissioner or making any of those decisions, but where does the asterisk come in because of that? Is that the asterisk part? I don't understand.
So he just needs 19 points to become asterisk, the all-time leading scorer. And I see him celebrate. Or he might act like, well, then again, you know what? He might act like he don't know, but you might see him celebrating a little bit. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're going to acknowledge it. They're going to acknowledge it. LeBron's been on a stat padding tear, so, and, the sycophants, the Nick Wrights, they're all going to masturbate to those numbers. It's going to be a spontaneous, it's going to be a spontaneous social media orgasm when LeBron either scores that bucket or hits that free throw to push him past Kareem when it comes to total points. Believe that. It's going to be a symphony of social media release.
Wow. Very powerful and disturbing take from 2 fraud. So we understand where the animosity comes from, but I want to get to the root of the problem. Let's switch gears a bit. I heard you talk about the GOAT conversation, and sometimes it sounds like you feel as though LeBron shouldn't be in the GOAT conversation and he don't deserve it or something like that. And then you said something about super teams and him getting with other players. It's never been done before. But I remember this been going on like way back in the 80s, 70s. Like it goes way back about players teaming up with each other through free agency and also through trades. Back then it was mostly they was doing it through trades. So I know you're saying that LeBron just trying to get some easy chips, but I never seen nothing come easy when I see the finals, and especially when LeBron's playing in the finals, because throughout his career I've seen even in the East, when before he really had a great supporting cast, he had to go up against teams that had multiple All-Stars on their team. And I could go through teams in the East throughout the years who had multiple All-Stars, and Cleveland didn't have those same All-Stars, that same amount of talent. Like when Orlando had 3 All-Stars, when the Pistons had 5 All-NBA players, and it goes on and on. And I'm not going to break all that down, but that's a little snippet of it, and you can do your research. But the Boston Celtics, the Big 3, was already trying to be formed, and Paul Pierce confirmed it. And in response to that, we see the creation of the Miami Heatles. So, if you're in a league where super teams has already been created, super teams is already running around, and it's hard for your organization, your franchise, to put the right people around you for you to go out there and get it done, you take your destiny into your own hands, because this team, you can't beat them alone. I remember Tim Duncan even saying 2007 finals, they all guarded him. He said we knew that we all had to go at him at the same time. It was LeBron against us, not them against us. Cleveland against the Spurs. It was LeBron against the great Tim Duncan and the Justice League. So, by him finding the help and teaming up to defeat one team that actually came together to stop him, because he was just so great individually with his talent, when he gets to the finals, he's also going up against another team that has multiple All-Stars, champions, proven players. It's different with the situation that MJ faced in the finals and the people Kobe faced in the finals. Like when Bron gets to the finals, he's going against players who's been there already and players who's won already. And he got to face dynasties who are actually stacked teams or great teams in their own right, with Booby Gibson, who nobody remembers, Mo Williams, Delonte West. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Is this real? But what is the real problem that you had? Why you mad?
I remember back during the days when the people that ruled the basketball community, at least online, the raging debate was who was the GOAT, Jordan or Kobe?
Well, now I see what you're mad about.
Jordan or Kobe? That was the raging debate back then. Not LeBron versus Mike. Kobe versus Mike. What made a lot of people lose respect for LeBron is the decision.
When you say your people, you talking about the LeBron hater United Nation, right?
I can't defensively say who these people are and who their favorite player is, but you read between the lines, you get a gist of what is going on. You know, there's a particular insidious group of fans, extreme fans. But the decision, him changing his strategy to try to get championships the easy way, that's something we had never seen before. Not players colluding with each other to form a super team. That's not something that we had seen before.
The whole super team narrative, players teaming up, and besides the GM or the team forming these super teams, he started as far as the players, and I totally disagree. I remember September 1982, Moses Malone was a free agent, and he signed with the Philadelphia 76ers, team up with Julius Erving, an all-star, paired with another all-star that was already on the team, making them 3 all-stars. Do you believe that was a super team? What is your definition of a super team? Is it just any team LeBron plays for, any teammate he plays with automatically qualifies them as a super team? Does age come into play? Does the accolades come into play? Like, because I believe, okay, you got 3 all-stars. To me, that's a super team, and especially off of their resume. Like, if they got playoff experience, you team up with multiple champions, proven champions already, yeah, you got yourself a super team. 3, I feel as though 3 all-NBA players, all defensive players on one team is a super team. And like I said, September 82, Moses Malone did that, but besides that, that was free agency. And LeBron made his decision in free agency to go team up with Wade Bosch in Miami. I believe that you're a flat out hypocrite and others like you, because y'all don't judge people off intent either, because when Kobe tried to put together his mini super teams, some went through, some failed, some didn't go through, and y'all was pumped up. Yeah, I was pumped up too. I'm a Laker fan. We was pumped up by the Chris Paul trade. They put together this super team with Kobe, and y'all give LeBron flack for the same shit Kobe already was doing. Y'all say, oh, LeBron getting players traded, this, that, and third. You think Kobe and Chris Paul didn't talk to each other before they even started the trade process? Of course they did. And you're an idiot if you think they didn't. Like, it's Kobe's team. They're going to have to talk to each other and figure out how they're going to make it work, just like the recent Westbrook AD LeBron situation. You feel me? And his intentions was to do it, and it didn't go through because it got vetoed. Not because Kobe was like, nah, you know what, I ain't going to do it that way, I'm going to do it this way. No. It got blocked. So, they had just won a championship, and what? The year before, Lamar Odom, 6th man of the year. Paul Gasol, he's an all-star. It's a championship team, and Kobe getting niggas traded. But I don't see you guys talking about that. And even Kobe's own words, he told you he was trying to get out of L.A. He was about to leave the Lakers. He was trying to go to Chicago. One point in time, he was trying to go to the Clippers, the little brother, the enemies, the jealous ones. He was going to do it, and that was his intentions, trying to leave. But you downplay another person who actually was successful with the same situations, his intentions, except he didn't demand a trade or force a trade. He filled out his contractual obligations and then did what he supposed to did whatever he wanted to do. But it's plenty of other players, and y'all GOATs, who y'all claim to be the GOAT, Kobe, I don't know how he would even fit in a GOAT conversation when you can't compare a player that's been the number one guy, the responsibility of leading a team at the top, the captain, to a player that was a sidekick for a large part of his career and say, oh, this is a great debate. One of them is the goal. No, that's an unfair comparison. If you ain't had the same responsibilities throughout your whole career, you cannot compare their whole careers. That's stupid. That's why the Magic versus Kobe shit is a perfect comparison. Kobe versus Tim Duncan was a perfect comparison. Their careers are similar. Jordan versus LeBron, perfect. Their careers are similar. They both been the number one guy, not sidekicks. And y'all want to compare a sidekick to a leader to try to boost up another player, but y'all downplay Scottie Pippen when, shit, if anything, you could compare a large part of Kobe's career to Scottie Pippen's career. Once Kobe became the man and did his thing, went to the 3 finals, got them 2 chips, that's where the comparison stops with another player who was a sidekick. You compare the sidekick years to the sidekick years, and the lead role years to the lead role years. That's how you compare these players. And you guys do the dumbest shit when y'all do that. Y'all don't pay attention. That's why the conversation always be lopsided, and y'all always move the goalposts because you fighting a losing battle, and I can hear it in your voice. But before that, let me back it up a little bit. The Boston Big Three with Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce, they won a title. Now, I understand a lot of you the haters and whatever you call yourselves, ballpark eaters, Kobe jock sniffers, whatever, try to discredit them saying, oh, they was old, they wasn't in their prime, they was older. So is it about age, or is it the level of play? Because right now, coming into this season, I was told that the Lakers was a super team. You got Anthony Davis, Westbrook, LeBron James. Even you and everyone else said this is a super team. Even though LeBron was 36 on his way to being 37, y'all still called it a super team. So what's the excuse for y'all saying Boston wasn't a super team? And the Lakers is an old team. Y'all say this is an AARP team. And it's starting to look like it. So I don't see a super team with this. But when LeBron made that decision, it's an interview with Dwayne Wade when he talked about the decision and how it came about. Initially, Wade was on his way to Chicago. Chris Bosh was stuck in Toronto. M.L.E, he was able to join up with them, but he went for the money. And they both, LeBron and Wade, said, we can't beat this Boston Big Three individually. But if we teamed up, we could take them down. So they was going to go to Chicago and pair up with D. Rose, making it 3 All-Stars, 2 MVPs in their prime, against the Boston Big Three, who had 4 All-Stars at that time, including Rondo. That's Rondo, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, against whatever Big Three they form in Chicago or Miami. And Bosh wanted to get involved, so they didn't go to Chicago and they teamed up in Miami. Boston came before that. And Boston, the Miami Big Three was a reaction, a response to the Boston Big Three. And all that wasn't done in free agency. It was done through trades. And during Paul Pierce's Hall of Fame speech, he said he'd been trying to get Kevin Garnett down Boston with him way before that it actually transpired. So he was already trying to form this super team. Now, I could care less if it's done in trades or free agency. I respect it more when it's done in free agency because you fulfill your contract obligations and then you go do what you want because you're a free agent. You're free to do whatever you want. But back then, and I could go further back, players forced trades to play with each other. You can't tell me that Wilt Chamberlain, Elgin Baylor, and Jerry West didn't talk to each other before teaming up. They didn't see, like, maybe, yo, we can make this work. It could fit. We could play together. We are individual greatness, and we know how to share the ball. We could get it done. You don't believe that? You don't agree with that? Or, well, maybe you might agree with Charles Barkley, 1996, when he forced a trade to go play with Clyde Drexler, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Scottie Pippen in Houston. He went to Houston to play with those guys, trying to form his own super team. Same way he forced his way out of Philadelphia to go play with Kevin Johnson and Dan Marley, 2 other All-Stars, which makes 3 All-Stars, and that would be a super team, right? Right or wrong? Or, like I said, it's only LeBron, the one with super teams. Okay, Shaq leaves one great team, leaves a free agency, and go plays with Eddie Jones. And that year they didn't have the stars that they wound up getting. Was it 1997 or 98? They had 4 All-Stars. Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel, Shaq. Kobe became an All-Star after coming off the bench because he was playing behind Eddie Jones. He outplayed Eddie Jones, got his spot. And that's why they got rid of Eddie, because Eddie wanted too much money, and it was cheaper to pay to keep Kobe, who's giving you the same production for less money, than to keep an aging star who wants more money. So they got rid of him and traded him for another star, Glenn Rice. Can't forget they had Richmond too, but that's a different story. But they traded him for another star, and then they won a title. Was that not a super team? Or we could take a step further. Would you believe sometimes it's about a popular vote? It's about a popular thing, popularity, a race, and you could have a player averaging 20-plus points that doesn't make the All-Star team, but do you consider him a good player or a great player because he's averaging 20-something points and he's the number 1 option on his team? Because that's what Karl Malone and Gary Payton was doing before they got with the Lakers, and people compare that team to this day's Lakers now. Do you agree with that? How about your man, your favorite guy, Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls? Pippen was an All-Star. Now, when he won his first title, he just had Pippen. Now, the other dudes contributed. Now, we're talking about level of talent right now. Talent as far as All-Stars, All-NBA players. He had former All-Stars on his team also, but that's a different story. We're just talking about now. He won his 3 chips. Had a great team. Give all them guys credit. But, mind you, and y'all talk about stat padding with LeBron. MJ used to stat pad every night. And I can pull up MJ own words and the coaching staff also saying that when MJ came in through the huddles or halftime and they say, or at the timeout, and they be like, you need 4 more rebounds, 6 more assists to get your triple-double. And they said they was doing this to help his MVP case. So is that not stat padding? And MJ own words with, I'm doing this and I'm doing that And if they can't see that I'm a complete player by now, they'll never see it. But he checked his stats regularly, night basis. Stat not stat pattern, so it's only stat pattern when one player do it. Everybody else gets a pass. I can also pull up a clip of a game where Kobe was in garbage time getting points so he can make sure he get a 50 plus point game in a losing effort during garbage time. And the guy comes to him and tell him, you need 3 more points to pass Wilt Chamberlain on the Lakers franchise list of, I think it's how many, 30 plus point games or 50 plus point games. He needed 3 more points. And he came to him and told him, Kobe said, yeah, I need 3 more points. He happy. And they're losing. Is that not stat pad? You got so many teams who created their own super teams through trades, not only free agency, but through trades. Now, what's the big difference of creating it through a trade or through free agency? Because I think creating it through a trade is worse, which they was doing back then, because you just say, fuck the team and fuck your obligations. Get me the hell out of here, you demanding a trade. Instead of playing your contract out, playing them seasons out, looking out for the team, doing what you signed up to do, what you told us you're going to do, and then go do what you got to do once you fulfilled your obligation, which is more respectable. But I guess you guys don't respect the free agency part. Y'all like the trade part. That's Wilt forcing his way here, and Charles Barkley forces his way there, and other players. And I hear about stacked teams all the time. Now, a lot of y'all love Kevin Durant, y'all love Kawhi, and all these other players who done played on stacked teams their whole career. But they came in the league in some of the best situations. Even Toronto had a stacked team at one point in time. But look at Kawhi Leonard. He comes to the Spurs. He's not even the best player on the team. You got Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. He's not ahead of none of them guys. They get to the finals, but he wins finals MVP. And y'all boost this finals MVP bigger than what it actually is, because I'm like, it's great. Give him his credit, even though Parker, it could have went either way. Parker or Kawhi, either one of them could have got it. But because he played great defense on LeBron, stopped him from averaging 30 because he only averaged 28, he got the finals MVP. But you say LeBron controls the media, but that was a media thing right there that shows that they don't like this guy. They tired of this guy. And a lot of people didn't like his decision to go to Miami at that time too, so how does he control the media? Then Kawhi, they get LaMarcus Aldridge, and they still got Tim Duncan for 1 year. Tim Duncan retired, still got Parker and but he gets traded. This guy got a fucking rabbit's foot or a horseshoe somewhere. He gets traded to Toronto, who was one of the top teams in the East, if not the best team in the East, as far as the regular season. They had good playoff runs too. So they had a veteran team also. And you just take DeMar DeRozan out, plug in Kawhi, and the team gets better. It didn't get worse. It was already a good team. And it got even better because Kawhi is a better player than DeMar DeRozan. So he goes into another good situation, and by this time, it's 3 stars on the team. Siakam becomes an all-star. You got Kyle Lowry, Kawhi Leonard. And it goes to the finals. And they win. And we can add context and say, you know what I'm saying, KD got injured, then Clay got injured. They could have went either way. Warriors probably would have won. I don't know. I don't say, oh, I believe the Warriors would have won, because anything happens. Any given night, somebody could go off and things don't go your way. That's basketball. But Kawhi won finals MVP, which was questionable for me anyway. He actually got the finals MVP, they said, because of his playoff run. Not for what he did in the finals, but for his playoff run. Because in that closing game, he was freezing up offensively. Not defensively, but offensively. Before Draymond called the timeout when they didn't have a timeout and got the technical foul, he only had about 19 points. Fred Van Van Vliet led that whole first half, and then Kyle Lowry closed it out. And Kawhi Leonard shot those free throws at the end of the game to get his average, to get his points higher in the 20+ mark. That wasn't Finals MVP worthy. And he had games where he dropped 30. And Siakam actually had games where he dropped 30 and went off too. So it could have went to about 3 of them different guys. Could have got that Finals MVP. But they was looking for a new face of the league, a quiet guy who won't talk back, who won't speak out about things, because they started to see LeBron as a problem, and they tired of him speaking on social justice issues and bringing politics into basketball. Can we all agree on that? Sure. Now, Kawhi just ain't panning out to be who they thought he was. He leaves in free agency, goes to the Clippers, and he takes Paul George with him from OKC, denies Westbrook. His first choice was Kevin Durant and Jimmy Butler. He couldn't get the players he wanted. He sabotaged the Lakers to make sure they couldn't get a decent roster or a better roster by holding their hands tied to wait for him when he's just behind the scenes recruiting guys, trying to get his team together. Ultimately, he does it. 3 all NBA players on one team, all defensive players. Paul George, Kawhi, Patrick Beverley, all defensive player. All these guys on one team. And you can go ahead and name the rest of the roster or whatever. Cool. They was told to be the favorites to win it all, the favorites in the West. They're better than the Lakers. The Lakers. Before I jump back to this year, let me back it up a couple years. While Kobe was still playing, we missed the playoffs multiple years. Didn't even have a TV spot for our games. Nobody even cared to see Kobe coming in there chucking up shots. The roster was sus, like it was some shit. And we was trash, missing the playoff year after year, year after year. And you said if Kobe was on his team, you think his team would be better. Kobe was playing and still couldn't make the playoffs. I don't understand why would you even say something like that. Like, it's baffling. Man was missing the playoffs and he wasn't even retired yet. Ultimately, he retired because he seen, man, nobody wants to come down here and play for the Lakers. I'm a Laker fan, and all you other Lakers fans and you Laker fakers, look, no stars wanted to come here. Because if they did, they'd have been here. Kobe was here, nobody came here. After the Dwight Howard situation. When Kobe got his super team together with Howard, Nash was an all-star coming into that year, Gasol, and Kobe. 4 all-stars. Didn't pan out, injuries prevented things, cool. But it didn't work, and he had the stars.